Hello, guess what I did? I made a 10-minute video, my thoughts on a particular subject. I didn't turn my bloody mic on. This little thing here has to be set to camera and it must be green, so I'm checking. Oh dear. Good morning. It's a boiling hot day and I mean boiling. I haven't been awake very long today, a bit of a sleepless night, but then I had a good sleep, I suppose the morning time, 3 o'clock onwards, something like that. So a little bit tired, but tired but happy. Oh, I've got a lighter in my pocket. Didn't realise that. Brand new lighter as well, got loads of gas in. Okay, I'm going to have a fag and have a Slurpee while we have a little chat about my thoughts. Can I just say again, I always have to say, don't know, this is only ever right for me. I don't mean to upset, I don't mean to offend, whatever, but if you are offended or upset, then that's your problem and not mine. These are just thoughts, it's not my absolutes, it's not my research, it's not my years of thinking it through and study. They are thoughts, which is why I don't do any research. They are just thoughts. I'm going to show you this. I finished this and I'm really happy with this. Not sure when this video is going up because I've got 3 or 4 more in the pipeline. Powerful and punchy and beautiful. So, I'm having a fag and having a Slurpee, as they say. Use my new lighter. When you use a new lighter and you've got a beard, light it away from yourself because it sometimes goes like that. Hello and good morning everybody. I hope everybody's okay. So my thoughts, let's have a quick look. I got a couple here have come in over the last day and a half. Nancy Wolfe we do. Nancy Wolfe says, what are my thoughts on artificial insemination for single mothers? It's an interesting little thing to get our heads around, isn't it? What are my thoughts on artificial insemination for single mothers? What are my thoughts? I don't mind. I think if, ideally it would be better to have a mum and a dad. It'd be better to have a child born the normal, natural way, whatever normal is. And all the rest of it, have a child born into love, for love. That in a perfect world would be wonderful, wouldn't it, really? I think I'm old enough to have seen so much in life, really. I know somebody who has 2 dads. He's perfectly happy. No problem with him. I know a huge amount of people that have been brought up with just mum. They're absolutely fine, there's no problem. And I know a couple actually. In fact, I know 3 girls that was brought up with their dads. And these 3 girls are doing marvellously in life. What happened was, I don't want to get into it too much really. The mum died when the youngest girl, she was only about 2, bless her. Anyway, all these years later, he's never met anybody, didn't really want to, and all the rest of it, so that's fine. He's got 3 beautiful daughters. They're highly intelligent, they're well-rounded individuals, they're nice girls. They're actually adults now. One is a young adult and she's at uni. Not sure what the middle one's doing, if I'm honest, I can't remember. But anyway, the oldest one, she lives in, somewhere beginning with B and I can't remember, Belarus. Somewhere crazy. And she's the head of a large corporation. Now, the last time I spoke to her, she doesn't have a man in her life. She's dedicated to work. She absolutely loves her work, and that's fine if that's what she wants to be doing. And I said, how do you see yourself in the future? And she said, I'm going to retire when I'm 40. She said, what I want to do then is adopt a child. I want to adopt a child and bring a child up in a beautiful location somewhere, you know. And that's wonderful, isn't it? So artificial insemination or adoption, you know, they're both similar to me, really. So the question could be, what do I think about adoption? I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think there's enough children out there desperate to be loved by mum and dad, or mum or dad and dad, or mum and mum, or whatever. I really do believe, you know, children need to be loved and cared for and cherished, really, you know. So however that may come about. Now, artificial insemination, it could be that the woman perhaps has a problem that she can't have vaginal sex for some reason, some deformity or something. It could be that, you know, the woman just cannot have children and is desperate to be a mum, but hasn't found the right man, or doesn't particularly want a man in her life for whatever reason. So I think, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge, really? We have to look, I suppose, at the... I'm not bothered by it at all, but we have to look at the bigger picture as life moves on. What may that child, when that child grows up, what may that child feel and think? If mum had an anonymous, totally anonymous sperm donation, what would that child think? You know, is that child going to feel any different than me or you or anybody else? Is that child going to be concerned in any way? You know, do we have to worry about any medical implications? Because I know that over the years, doctors and things have said to me, is there any history of heart disease in your family? Or is there any history of diabetes? Whatever, you know, and I can think back to my parents. However, if your father is anonymous, then you can't think back to that parent quite clearly. So we've got to think about that to a degree. But I think as long as the child is loved, reared, cared for, cherished, in a beautiful, loving environment, that's all we can ask for, isn't it, really? That's it, you know. You know, I suppose thinking onwards, when you've got the child and what have you, people are going to say, oh, well, who's the dad? Where's the dad from? And stuff like that. But I think life has moved on now. That people don't need to be ashamed of anything, really. And why would anybody divulge, oh, I have a problem that I cannot have sex because my vagina is blah, blah, blah. Why would people go into all that? Why the fuck should they, you know? So I think it's got nothing to do with us, really. You know, and I wish people well. I do wish people would consider adoption before artificial insemination. But that's just my thoughts, and people have got to do whatever they do. So yeah, it's an interesting topic, and I suppose we could talk on it all day long, but, excuse me, but, you know, you're asking my thoughts on it. The truth is, I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. I think a child should be loved and cared for, however it comes about. And that's it. If a child is loved and happy, does it really matter? Does it really matter? You know, single mums can bring up kids just as well, and in many cases better, than mum and dad. I know a lot of people say, oh, you can't beat mum and dad and all the rest of it. I disagree. I really do disagree, you know. Bodhi, stop, keep crying. Right, I'm going to go and sort my dog out. Take care and be well. Ta then.